And we're almost there. I think we're probably just about live. Just working hard.
Yes, I got my little notification here on the right. You're live.
Fantastic. And I'm showing
Yeah,
live on my end
you're
too.
live all the way over here in Australia.
Yay, that's so cool. I love that. I can be anywhere in the world I want to. That's just fantastic. Whoever thought, right? All right, guys, today we're going to go over some email stuff. And specifically, I want to show you some great stuff on how to start working with your emails and making them so that they go into the inbox instead of the spam folder. And I want to just tell you that I don't have an answer yet on the 0 to 5 on the spam checker. As soon as I get that answer, I will let you know. But there are a ton of spam checkers out there. And if you want to just, I'm going to share my screen and we'll take a look at what it's like to try to find a spam checker. So I'm just going to go here to a Google page, if I can type it in right. And I'm just going to go email spam checker. And right here, you'll have a bunch of different ones that you can check. And here's one that says 5 tools to check your sending reputation. This is by SendGrid. So you can click there and check it out. Great information. And there's Sender Score, Talos Intelligence, Reputation Authority, Barracuda Central, Trusted Source. So just put in email spam checker and you'll get a ton of resources that you can use to be able to find things that can check your email. And a lot of these are free for maybe a certain number of uses. And then you can actually pay if you want to check your emails and check for spam. So all of them are a little bit different in how they work, but check them out and you'll find lots of things that will help you with getting that email to your inbox instead of into spam. Now for me, what I do is I have a document that I use, and let me see, I can go to Builderall and important Builderall information. And right here, I have some information on spam words, the spam words that you want to stay away from. So here's one of the links right here, and I will put this in the resources so you don't have to worry about getting this link right now. It will be in the resources. But I'm going to copy and paste this in here so you can see it. And this is one place that I use to get spam words. Let's see if it'll pull it up. Come on, computer. My computer's really slow now because I've been working it really hard. Get the other one while that one's thinking. So this one right here, copy and paste this into another page. And you'll get all these links, so no worries. So let's see, we try this one again. That's still working on it. And I'll get the third one. So I've got 3 different resources on just how to avoid spam. And all of these resources give you different information on how to avoid. This one's probably really the best one that I read right here is the 7 key strategies for avoiding the spam filter in Gmail. So it will actually tell you exactly what you need to do to be able to avoid Gmail spam, because to me, Gmail spam is one of the hardest ones to get out of. So read those articles, get the information, become the expert. Here's the next one. It says, why are my emails going to spam? And it tells you information on how to get into that inbox. And number 1 right here, provide a double opt-in. That's going to be your best bet, even though it's harder to set up and you're going to lose people because they'll be like, I'm going to try a fake email so that I don't have to do this. You still will have a better list. So you definitely want to double opt-in. This one right here, authenticate your SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. Mail Boss does that. That's already done for you. And then regularly clean up your email list. You'll have to go into your email list and clean up those deadheads that are bouncing back. Avoid blacklists and monitor your reputation. So it's going to give you some information on how to monitor your reputation. And then you've got a preference center right here that it allows new subscribers and existing subscribers to choose how frequently they use their emails. We can't do that in Mailing Boss, not yet. So that's one that you can't do yet. But monitor your engagement metrics. We know now that we've got some analytics. You can take a look at the analytics and keep track of what's going on. And then remember, I told you about this one, send valuable content. So you want to do value, value, offer, value, value, offer. That one's really important because if you're not providing value in their emails, you're just not going to get opened. And make sure that you're getting some takeaways in there as well. So those are some really, really good tips. Let me look at this one and see if it's loaded yet. We'll try this one more time because this one's the important one, the spam words, but it might have moved. But regardless, the next one that I'm going to give you is actually 11 reasons why your emails go to the spam box. So that's another one that we'll take a look at right here. And this is another great one to look at so you can understand what's happening and why things are going into the spam box. So it gives you some great details about why. So like number one, you didn't get express permission to email. That gets into having that double opt-in list. So you want to make sure it's double opt-in. Your IP address was used for spam. So that's not going to happen with Builderall because we don't allow spamming. And we will stop spammers and take them off the servers. You have low open rates. Remember that an open rate it affects your reputation. So you want to make sure that you're giving value so that people open your emails. And then subscribers don't remember you. Well, they don't remember you because you haven't created a know, like, and trust factor. So make sure you're giving them value so they remember you. Next one, you have a low mailbox usage. So you want to make sure that you're sending, and you're getting opened and you're getting links clicked. And then your subject line is misleading. So you want to make sure that your subject line is clear from any of the spam words and that you're being clear on what your email is about. And deceptive subject lines are actually a really big issue. You guys have probably gotten emails like this before where it's said, click here to get your commission check now. And it's deceptive because it's telling you you're going to get a commission check. So people will open that email. And then, of course, it'll be trying to sell them something like a business opportunity that they have to pay to get into. So deceptive subject lines will get you in trouble. And you don't want to be deceptive in your subject line. Your from information is incorrect. It's also against the CAN-SPAM Act to mislead anyone with your from or to or reply to routing information. That's why it's important to make sure that your from name and your from email are correct, and then your reply to email is connected to your domain, and it is okay to put no reply at and then your domain name. You don't include your physical address. Again, this is a CAN-SPAM law, and you need to have a physical address of where your business is at. It is required. And the emails must include either your current street address, a post office box that's been registered with the Postal Service, or a private mailbox that's registered with a commercial or receiving agency. So again, that is part of the CAN-SPAM Act. We've already talked about that. You have to have that information in each of your emails. Fortunately, you put that in your profile information or in your subscriber list information, and it will be there automatically for every single email that goes out. Mailing Boss does that automatically for you as long as you put the correct information in. If you put trash in, it will spit out trash. So don't put trash, put the right information in. You didn't include an unsubscribe list. Again, Mailing Boss puts this in for you automatically, and you cannot take that out. So when you're editing your email and you see that unsubscribe link tag, you want to make sure you do not take it out because it's part of the CAN-SPAM law. And then 10, you use spam trigger words. So here's a really good list, short list of spam trigger words. So amazing is a spam trigger. Cancel at any time is a spam trigger. So it's actually kind of shocking what words are spam triggers, because I wouldn't have thought in the beginning that great offer would have been a trigger to send it straight to spam, but it sure is. Order now triggers it to go into spam. Special promotion triggers it to go into spam. Winner triggers it to go into spam. So there's a long laundry list of words and phrases that will send you into spam. So you want to make sure you're paying attention to that. Dominic has actually shared a PDF document, or I think a Word document. I'll probably transfer it to PDF. And I'll add that as a resource in today's resources as well. So you can see another long list of spam phrases and spam words that will get you sent to a spam folder. And then your HTML emails don't follow best practices. So right here, we've got some best practices, the maximum width of 600 to 800 pixels. You keep your HTML codes as simple and as clean as possible. And again, to me, that's going into plain text emails. I don't like to do a lot of pictures and links to videos or anything that's going to slow down the loading of that email. Keep your image to text ratio low. Optimize your images for email. Don't use obscure fonts. That'll really slow it down for sure. And then optimize for mobile. So all of that's done inside of Mailing Boss when you're editing your emails. So those are 11 really good ideas about how to take care of your emails and make sure that everything is as well as it can be to avoid the spam box. Now, does that mean you're going to end up avoiding the spam box? No, because it's still hard to get into the inbox. It's just hard. And the number one thing is reputation. So that's another article that I'm going to give you is reputation. And your reputation is carried with you when you send out emails. And it's got information about your email account that includes open rate and click-through rate. And that tells you what your reputation is. So your goal is to keep getting opens and to keep getting clicks inside your emails. So to do that, you're going to create a relationship with your customer. And that customer is going to be so excited to get your emails that they're going to open it. And then you're going to provide something valuable to them. You can provide a ebook for them or an infographic for them or something where they want to click on it to be able to get to it. So that's a constant relationship with your customer, to constantly be encouraging them to not just open their emails, but click something in that email to see something or to get something. Is it a lot of work? Heck yeah, it's a lot of work. But this isn't easy. If being an entrepreneur and running your own business was easy, everybody would do it, right? And having a really good email list, not everybody has one. There's a lot of entrepreneurs that do not have a really good email list. They have a cold email list, meaning their open rate is like 0.5% or 1%, if that much. And that's because people don't know that. So they're sending out the email and people aren't opening their email, not even looking at their email because they don't even know that. So you're going to be constantly working on keeping a warm email list so that people will open your email, which increases your reputation. And then you're going to constantly try to provide something in there that they can click so that it also increases your reputation. So eventually you'll bypass the spam folder and get into that inbox because your reputation is increased. Go ahead, Phoenix.
Yeah,
I have.
Phoenix first, and then I'll get to Davida.
Okay, thanks. I have a question that I also get asked quite often, and I thought maybe it's a good time to ask it now. Okay. Is sometimes people have got some leads in their Builderall affiliate account, right? If you have the Builderall business. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you've sent your 7-day sequence or more, and nothing happens. You didn't get any respond back or anything. What would you do with that list or those addresses?
I would say that if you don't get a response at all from them, maybe move them to like a deadhead list, right? Go ahead and move them to a deadhead list. And then maybe occasionally email them, I don't know, once a month to remind them about Builderall. Because they're still valid. If they haven't unsubscribed, they're still valid. They're still valid emails that you can use. So move them to a deadhead list and then commit to maybe once a month, send them a standard email that says, hey, just wanted to remind you that Builderall's still here. I'm still here. And want to tell you about some of the new stuff that we have in Builderall, just in case you might be interested in jumping back in and trying it out.
Thank you. That's a very good answer.
Thank you. Go ahead, Davida.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, when I looked in the Mailing Boss today, it said 1 in 3 open. Is that a good rate or a bad rate?
Well, that would be a 33% open rate, so that would be pretty good. An average open rate is anywhere from like 3% to 10%. If you've got a really, really warm list, then it's going to be over that. But most people don't have really warm lists, so it's going to be low. If you've got a cold list, meaning it's a big list that you haven't really created a good relationship with, you'll be doing good if you get maybe 0.5%. Oops, let me jump back here. you'll be good if you get a 0.5% to 1% open rate. That's a really good rate if you've got a full list. Now I've got people that have joined Builderall under me that cannot understand why they've got a 10,000 person list, but they only get about a 0.5% open rate. And why do you guys think they have a 10 person list and they only get about a 0.5% open rate? Why is that? Why don't they have more?
Some of those emails may have gone into spam.
Yep, spam. What else?
Not giving good information to have someone want to open up the email.
Right. So it's not a warm list, right? What else, Dominic?
They're old.
No like and trust.
No like and trust. We haven't established that yet. So there's a lot of things going on. Numbers don't mean a thing if you haven't created some kind of relationship with those people. So if you have a 10,000 person list and you're emailing them and you're expecting 5,000 opens, it's just not going to happen, right? And email marketing is not the only way to market. And email marketing is not actually very efficient either, because even when you have a warm list, it's still not going to guarantee you a certain number of sales, because there's a lot of things that have to happen. You have to have a good product. There have to be a group of people that want that product. There's so many levels of things that have to happen. So don't ever put your eggs in all the email basket. And that's what I've tried to explain to this person, right? The email basket is a great basket to have, but it's a tool, just like anything else. And so you use that tool, but you also use your website tool, you use your chatbot tool, you use your Facebook tool. There's all kinds of tools that you need to use, and they all need to be in conjunction with each other so that you've got some results from email, some results from Facebook, some results directly from your website, some results from maybe solo ads, some results from Facebook ads, some results from your YouTube channel. And then when you combine all of that together, you've got a functioning company that you're going to make money from. But you can't put all of your marketing eggs into one single basket. Email is just a piece of it. David?
That's why I'm looking into a big alternative at the moment.
Good.
Good. I'll report to you after I see the results of it. Right.
Fantastic.
I just want to keep it zipped for the moment, but I agree with you. It's very difficult nowadays in today's economy to get an email. People are not willing to give away their emails anymore, and if they do, they give away a spammy email. Sure, we all have our spammy emails that we sign up to things for, and then we never look at them after.
That's exactly it. They're creating email is so easy to get now. Do you remember years ago when I think it was Hotmail that came out, and you had to have an invitation for it, right? Yep. And now you can make a bazillion Hotmails, a bazillion Gmails, and you can do anything. And so everybody now has their spam email. So if they're going to sign up for a list, they'll go in long enough to confirm if they have to confirm, and then they'll never check it again. And then they have a different email that they give to everybody that they want to hear from. I do it, you do it, everybody does it.
Yeah.
So it's very, very common. So to get their ear and to get them to eyeballs on your email is actually hard. And I was so lying the other day. I don't have my phone. Here it is. I think I told you guys I had 68,000 emails, unread emails on my phone. It's not even close to true. I don't know if you can see it. There are 120,000 unread emails on my phone. And that's with having a VA helping me with my emails. We had it cleared down to almost zero. And then it just started going back up once I kind of put her on something else and said, okay, we have emails under control. Let's put you on something else. And then it got out of control again really fast. And I have a ton of emails. And to get my attention via email is actually really, really hard. And I can imagine that it's just as hard. Now, my husband only has a few emails. He has his spam email that he'll give out when he's trying to sign up for something, but doesn't really want to check the email. And then he has his regular email. So he only has a couple emails. But if I send him something that he needs to see, it takes him 2, 3, 4 days to check it because he's just not on the ball with emails. And I think he's probably like the average person, right? I'm not, because I have so many domains. That's why I get so many emails. But he's more average than I am. And to get him to actually notice and open an email is difficult. So I have to work on creating that relationship. And it's very, very difficult to do. And again, it's all going to be about your personality, your flair, the way you word things, and people will resonate with you. And then the tricky part is to do all that without using the spam words to send you into the spam folder, right? So all of that's real tricky and difficult to do. David?
One way of avoiding getting spam into your email box, right, is, you know, when you register a domain name, pay the little bit of extra to have it secure. Because all these boys in India and all over the world are able to get access to these things, right? And this is why I say I'm getting my phone calls every day and I'm getting emails to beat the band, because 2 of my domain names are up for renewal. And all these people are trying to get in and they look up GoDaddy, they look up whatever, HostGator or whatever, right? And they get your name and your details, your number and everything off those sites, because or off even what's the one, the overall governing body of the URLs?
Yeah, the ICANN,
yeah. They can get it there because it's public knowledge, unless you pay that little bit extra to have it safe, so to speak. That's what I do now, but you learn. You do learn, and you try to figure out where are these blasted things coming from, you know, and that's the way. And then they get your email address through that as well.
The neat thing about GoDaddy is that they automatically put in that extra fee to keep it private.
They can. You can uncheck it if you don't want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can go private. I actually don't go private. That's why another reason why I have so many emails. Years ago, about 10 years ago, it was actually considered kind of smarmy to go private because there's so many people that were hiding their personal information. So you couldn't do like a who is and look them up. So I always put my own information. So any of my domains that I have, if you do a who is, you'll find my information because I don't try to hide it. And it's, again, just kind of my policy of being very transparent. The one thing that I'll probably change, since I just cannot get my email managed very well, even with a VA, is I'll probably switch over to a Google phone number. And that way I can see it's coming in through the Google phone number and just block it. And then the next thing I can do is you use a specific email that doesn't come into any of my other email accounts on my phone. It goes in, it's directed to one specific email so that I can manage that way. But so there's a couple things I can do to start managing it a little bit better. Now that I've got almost 100 domains, you can imagine all the spam and phone calls that I get. It's absolutely crazy. So, and it will get worse for you guys as you get more domains and stuff like that, especially if you have the information private or public. But again, I am full transparency. I want people to be able to do a who is and be able to find out who I am, who's the one that owns my website. It doesn't bother me at all, because I came from that smarmy time when people who did hide their information were the scammers, right? So that's kind of where I come from. But you do it however you want to. A lot of people don't want to put their information public because they don't want all the phone calls, they don't want the emails and stuff like that. And it doesn't bother them that you can't do a who is on their domain. And let me show you what a who is so you understand what that is. Some of you guys may not know. I'm going to share my screen and I'll go into my information here. And let me move this out of the way.
While you do that, Shirley, I just want to mention that Namecheap at the moment, they mostly have the whois for free included.
Mm-hmm. So who is when you look up who owns a domain. And there's a real easy way to do it. It's whois.icann.org, and ICANN is ICANN. So whois.icann.org. And all you do is type in your domain name. So I'm going to say builderalldiva.com, and I'll do a lookup. And when I do a lookup, it wants me to confirm that I'm not a robot, and I am partial robot, but not completely robot. And then it gives the information here. And you can see that it's who it's registered at. So it's registered on GoDaddy. And it says who the name servers are, which you can see that these are the Builderall name servers. And then down here, you can see who it's registered under. So you can see all the different information about this particular website. And you can see who owns it. So the register is worldsouth.net. That's the company that I own. And I don't know what else is all included on here, but you can see a lot of specific information about the person that owns this, which is me. And then there's usually phone numbers and stuff associated with it as well. So here's the organization. It's in Mississippi in the US, and it gives all that information right there public. And this is not a private one. So if this was registered private information and you tried to do this, it would block the organization, the mailing address, all that kind of stuff would be blocked so that you couldn't find that information out. But that is just one of them. Another one, let's see, ShellyTurner.com, I think is another one I own. So I can do I'm Not a Robot and look it up, and you can see it's got the same information right there. It's owned by worldsouth.net. And it's pointed to the GoDaddy domain servers instead of Mailing Boss. And there's more information about it right here. So if there's ever a question that you're not sure who owns a specific website, you can actually do who is on them, and you can see who owns them, unless they've got it private, and then you can't get that information. But that's why I don't privatize my websites, because if somebody does a who is, I want them to know that it's a valid website. I'm not a scammer, and they can find out more information. Okay. So that's my method. You don't have to do the same thing. You do not. You can go private if you want to and not get the 50,000 phone calls a day. All right. Any more questions about what we've covered so far as emails and working on spam and getting it into the inbox?
Shelly, where are you putting those links?
I will put them on the resources when I put this video up. I'll make sure to put all those links right in the resources in that area with the video on the replay. Okay.
On YouTube?
No, on the builderallbootcamps.com.
Okay, I see.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? All right. The next thing we want to talk about is reputation. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again and share with you another article that I have. Let me close ICANN real quick. And I'll close these articles that I've already got open. And there's SendGrid. Fabulous. And that one still did not open. All right. So the next one is test your email sending reputation. So right here, you can actually take a look at your sending reputation. So here's 5 ways to check your sending reputation. And you'll go in and check these individual links and check and see what your sending reputation is. And I'm just going to read this for you because it's just as easy. There's always the importance of having a strong sending reputation. You have to keep an eye on engagement, which means how many opens and how many clicks that you get. And do you get any spam complaints? Have you been turned in for spam by users? And these help you get a good picture of how your emails are being received by subscribers. So if you want to measure your reputation, you can actually do it by accessing one of these 5 areas. And it will give you a score on what your reputation is and how well you're doing it. So always test your reputation if you're worried about your emails not getting into the inbox. And you can slowly and surely try to develop your reputation. Now, how do you develop your reputation? I've developed a cheater method, and that is that you create several different test emails. And I've got test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4, test 5, test 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 at joinusateverest.com. So they're all under the same domain. And what I do is I send an email to all of those. And then all of those I have in RainLoop, and I will open them up. And so I've got to open automatically. And then I put a link in there and I click that link. So I've got 10 opens and 10 link clicks. And that starts to develop my reputation. So I have a good reputation. And that's the first step in starting to get into those inboxes, is building that reputation. So you can actually send to your own test accounts, open, click your own links, and start to help yourself on your own reputation. There are also groups that you can join that help you with email reputation. So you can say, hey, I'm going to send out an email. Can you open it and click the link? There's no reason why you can't join a group or make a group, that you have an email group and you all commit to opening and clicking the link of an email that's sent out. So it's all stuff that you can do to help your reputation, increase your reputation for your email so that it starts to go into the inbox instead of spam. So there's lots of different ways you can do it, guys. The email reputation co-ops are great, and I would encourage you, if you can find them on Facebook, just look up email reputation co-op on Facebook, and you might find a few. There's very few right now, but it's wide open for you to start working on that in Facebook. You can start a group and commit to each other that you will help open each other's emails and click the links inside the emails, and that way you can start increasing your reputation. So that's another way you can do it. All of it goes back to getting that engagement. And again, it's going to be critical that you get engagement in your emails. And part of getting engagement is know, like, and trust. So they got to get to know you, they got to like you, and then trust you enough that when they open the email, you've either got good value for them or you've got a product that they probably want. Okay, so that's the whole thing about emails. So any questions about what we've covered so far? All of these links will be added into the resource area. Yes, no, maybe? Okay, so let's jump in and see how we can actually create our emails, because you guys have seen now how we've gone in and done a subscriber list. We saw how we could do an email sequence. We've seen how we can do a regular email. We've seen how we can do a broadcast, or well, broadcast is a regular email. We've seen how we could do workflows. So let's see how we can actually create our emails and access our emails through RainLoop. So to do that, I'm going to go into my regular account. So give me just a few minutes to jump in there. So I'm going to sign in and go into my website. So hang in there. Let me share my screen so you guys can see what I'm doing. Share my screen. Perfect. And right here, I've got all of my domains, right? And I'm just going to go ahead and find one where I've got a domain connected. So I will go to, I guess, Builderall Team Awesome is as good as any. And on Builderall Team Awesome, this is my actual website. And to set up emails, all I do is click this email icon right here. So I'm going to click it. And you can see that I've got a bunch of emails there for people that are in my team in Builderall. And to create a new one, I just click Add Email. And I can go here and put in the beginning of the email that I want. So maybe the name is Brandon. So Brandon@builderallteamawesome.com. And then put in a password, which is a secret. And then I confirm my password. This. And so I've got the password in, I've got it confirmed, and then I'm going to click Add. And then I can save it if I want to. So now I've got a new user that has a password, and there he is down there. And now all I have to do is actually access my webmail to get it. So I'm going to go ahead and go over here to Access Webmail. And when I click it, that takes me to RainLoop right here. And now I can actually log in. So the email was Brandon@builderallteamawesome.com. And the password was it. And let's see if we can get in. So here's the RainLoop. This is the email client. And this is how we can receive email. So from here, I've got an inbox. I've got a sent box. So I can see all the emails that I've sent. I've got an area for drafts. These are the emails that I've drafted that I haven't sent yet. I've got a spam folder for anything that's sent automatically to spam. I can send things to trash before I actually delete them permanently. Then I can also archive any emails that I want to archive. I have some more functionality here, including adding folders if I want to. So I can add new folders and then start to organize my emails if I want to keep them permanently. I've also got some settings. So I can click here and I can create folders and subfolders here. And then I can go back to my main dashboard. And right here, I can refresh. I can move an email to a different folder. I can archive an email. I can move a folder to, or email to spam. I can send an email to trash, or I can click this button and do some other things as well. They're similar to what we have here. On the right-hand side, I've got the ability to add an account. So if I create another email and I don't want to keep bouncing out of accounts, I can actually add another account here. And then all I do is click to go to those accounts, and I can check them all in the same window. I can also go to settings, and I can choose what kind of layout I want, the default text editor. And this is where you can choose to get a plain email where it doesn't have any formatting, or HTML. You can mandate how many messages you want on a page, up to 100. And you can click to always display external images or not. It will actually block the images until you expressly permit them. And you can also display checkboxes in the list. You can use threads. You can place replies in the folder of the message being replied to. And on notifications, you can show new messages, notification pop-ups, and you can actually do a sound if you want to, like that. So every time you get a new message, it would sound. So there's a lot of functionality that you have in the screen actually to make it look the way you want to and act the way you want to. And then you've also got a help area. You've got a mobile version, so you can actually access the mobile version of the Rainloop. And then you've got log out, so you can log out and then log into another Rainloop account if you want to. So this is how you use your email client, which is Rainloop. And let me remind you where that's at. So I go to one of the domains that I've connected, and then I go to the little envelope area, and I click that. That will open all of the emails that I've set up. I can add an email if I want to. I can access email, which is webmail through Rainloop. That's the email client. And then for each individual email, I can actually change the password. So I click on that little padlock, and I can change the password there if I need to. And if I want to delete it, I just click the X, and that will delete that email as well. And if you delete it, there's no going back. It's going to delete everything you've got for that email, all the emails that you currently have. And when you start it new, they won't be there. So if you delete it, you have to be really sure. Also, each box has a quota of 500 megabytes. So you need to make sure when you get these set up that the person understands that there's 500 megabytes in there. So they can't just let it sit, because it'll fill it up and then it won't be receiving emails anymore. So you have to make sure you're deleting them from the server, the ones that you don't want to keep, so they can keep receiving emails. Mine doesn't fill up very much on this one because it's not a real well-known email, so that's pretty good. But there's some other ones that fill up pretty quick, so I have to have them checked pretty often. So that is how you do your email in the email client that we have called Rainloop. So are there any questions about that? Roberto.
Yes, Shelly, is there any way to have those emails forward to another email?
There's not a way to forward them, but there is a way to do SMTP settings. I'm going to give you that in just a few minutes, okay? Okay, Dominic? Oh, I can't hear you. You're actually muted. There you go. Perfect.
About that. Okay, so I've actually clicked that button before. Do you have to have your Rainloop set up in advance in order to, because I've set up company emails and I've clicked that button and it says site unavailable.
Try it again, and if it doesn't work, let support know. It might be that there's confusion between what you're clicking and the server that it needs to connect to, because not every email is on the same server. And there just might be a little discombobulation that you can't get connected to the right webmail server. Okay. Okay,
great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Tyree?
So we can set up an email to that domain name back there like you just showed us.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, wow. That's even sweeter.
Yeah, and that's important because think about it. Remember I set up Christy Lynn at builderalldiva.com, I think is what I set her email to. So I can go back into where I just showed you and actually create that email. And now it's a valid email. That's ChristyLynn at builderalldiva.com. So I can now receive emails and send emails from that exact email.
And just click on that envelope like you showed us and just put the first name. Then after that, the email is created.
That's right.
Then when we read the law, we got to click on that other little button that takes us to webmail, Rainloop. See, I've been trying to figure out how to get the Rainloop. And when we log in Rainloop, what email do we use? Do we create a password or something like that?
When you create the email, you're going to create a password that goes with it. So use that email and that password that you created. All of mine are the email plus like a secret. And so it's real easy to get in. But you use whatever you want to use for your password. But just make sure it's the email that you created plus the password you created with that email when you created that email.
Okay, and when you send that email, I mean that's specifically for that email, it's going to be a different one for each email.
If you set it that way, yes.
Okay, so we can use the same password, but for a different email. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And let me show you a couple of other things that are really, really helpful. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. One of the things that I do is I collect a lot of my emails in the same rain loop window. So if you look right here, I've got email. When I click the down arrow, here's some of the emails that I have. And if I go to join us at Everest, if I click that, it's going to go straight into my rain loop, right? So I've got the email for test1 at join us at Everest. If I click the down arrow, well, it's only going to one account now, but I can add an account and add test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4, test 5. I've got all kinds of emails that I can check at the same time. So if I go to emails and maybe go to Builderall Guru, let's see if that one's still working. So if I jump into Builderall Guru, it's going to hopefully log in. We'll see. So there's Builderall Guru. And we click the down arrow. And again, I can add any email that I want to go along with this to check in the same window. So I don't have to kind of keep jumping out of it and into it and out of it and into it. So I can check multiple emails by clicking that add account. So if I wanted to do that, when I just created Brandon, that was under Builderall Team Awesome. So let's see if I have one of those. Builderall Team Awesome. I don't have it, so we'll try it right here and see if it'll take it. So I'm going to go to add account, and I'll put Brandon at builderallteamawesome.com, and then I'll put my password in there, and I'll click add. I'm just going to think about it, and I'll try it again. And one of the things that it may not let it do is if it's on a different email server, because this one is on, if you notice up here, it's on mail 2, MAIL 02. And there's mail 01, 02, 03, 04, 05, and I think we're up to 06. So the Builderall Team Awesome email may be on a different email client. So I won't be able to access it because it's on a different server. So I'll have to access the webmail on whatever it's on. So just to take a look, let's go back to that email. I'm going to click on there. And then we'll go down to Brandon. So there's Brandon. And I'm going to click on this access webmail. And we'll see if it tells us what version it's on. And see, I don't know what server it's on here. So it could be on a completely different server than the other ones. So sometimes you can put them in the same Rainloop account, and they will be on the same Rainloop account if you have the same domain name at the end of it. But if it's a different domain name, like here it was Builderall Diva versus Builderall Team Awesome, they're on different servers. So I can't put them in the same Rainloop account to be able to access them at the same time. Okay, Tyree.
Yes, to access Rainloop is the only way we can access that through the back office and Builderall, or is there a direct link?
If you're a newer account, you can go to webmail.builderall.com, I think is what it is. Let me check it, make sure. Let me share. It is webmail. Webmail in your domain, webmail.builderallteamawesome.com. So whatever your domain is, do webmail.yourdomain.com.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's helpful. And then the other thing that I do is I like to be able to check my email like super fast. And I don't want to be trying to go type stuff in and stuff like that. So that's why I added it to my bookmark toolbar as well. So all I did here was create an email folder. And then I added each of the links to each of my emails right here. So I've got my Builderall Diva, my graphics at Builderall 365. Shelly at MemberBytes. So if I want to check the MemberBytes email, I just click that, and it really quickly goes to the correct rain loop. If you notice, this one is mail 04, so it's a different server. And it's going to open up rain loop for me. And then you can see I've got 4 different emails I can check from this window. So I can check Shelly at MemberBytes, support at MemberBytes, support at Social Media Explosion, and Shelly at Social Media Explosion, because they're all on the same server, which is mail 04. So I made that really fast by just clicking right here on the little favicon, little lock right there, and dragging it and dropping it onto that folder. And it drops it right in there, so I can check that anytime I want to, and I can go through and check them really fast to see if I've gotten any new emails in those folders. So that's a really quick way. Just make a folder on your bookmark toolbar, and to make a folder, you just right click and you go to add a folder, and it will place the folder on the toolbar, and then you drag your link and drop it onto the folder, and it'll drop it in there. And that way you can check your emails really, really quickly, even if you have a bunch of them, so you can get in there quick and get some answers to people, okay? Also, you can set up emails for your VAs and just give them the link to the webmail. So like webmail.builderallteamawesome.com, and they can check their own personal webmail that you've created for them, okay? And you can converse back and forth that way as well. So it's a great way to keep your VAs in the loop and using your email to be able to send things back and forth. Now, there are some SMTP settings, which SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. And all it means is that you're using another client instead of RainLoop to collect your emails and send out your emails. So RainLoop enables you to receive emails and it enables you to send out emails. But you can actually choose to do that from another email client like Gmail or Outlook or something like that. So in order to do that, you need the SMTP settings. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to see if I have those SMTP settings. I'm pretty sure I do. So right here, I'm going to go to Builderall, and then I'm going to go to my folder. Let's see, Mailing Boss, and then SMTP info. So this is the link right here. I don't know if it's still valid, but it looks like it is. And I'm going to drop this as a resource into the replay. But there's a little bit of setup that you have to do, but you have all the information right here that you need. So you're going to have your email right here. You're going to have the password that you created. And then right here is the important thing, the mailxx.l4email.com. That is the incoming server, and then you're going to do the outgoing server. These should be the same. So what you're going to do to find that out is actually go to your email. So right here, when I click Access Webmail, whatever it says right here is what's going to be your incoming and outgoing server. So for me, it says webmail.builderallteamawesome.com for that email. Okay, for the other email that we were looking at just a few minutes ago, let me see if I can find that one. This one is my server. It says mail02.l4email.com. The newer ones are going to have web domain name. The older ones are going to have the mail01, mail02, mail03, whatever it is. So you need to click your webmail button right here. You need to click Access Webmail to see where the webmail is located at. And whatever shows up in the URL is what you're going to use for your incoming and outgoing webmail. Okay, gets a little confusing, I know, but it's all good. I promise it's going to be all good. But let me find that page again because I've lost it. Hang on. Let me close some windows here. So I'm going to close that email. I'm going to close that window. That one open. Close that one. Close that one. Close that one. Oh my gosh, I've got too much open. And we'll close Brandon up. And there's the SMTP settings. So I'll make sure that gets into your resources today. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in chat for you guys that are live so you can have access to it. So let me jump into chat. And you should have the link to it now. Go ahead and grab that link out of chat. And again, I'll put it in the replay for you as well. So if you can't get it today, you'll be able to get it on the replay when I put it up. Okay. What that allows you to do is I've got several Builderall webmail, right? I've got several of them SMTP'd into my phone. So I can actually, instead of collect them through RainLoop, I can collect them through my phone and actually receive them and send them straight from my phone. And it doesn't look like I'm on my phone. It actually looks like I'm on RainLoop and I'm receiving and sending from RainLoop. You just have to remember a couple things, and that is wherever you receive them, set them to delete it from the original server so that you don't keep collecting email on RainLoop. And then it reaches that 500 megabytes and you get blocked out of receiving email anymore. That's a real issue. So if you're receiving them in like Outlook, there's a setting that you can go into that says, hey, once I get them in Outlook, delete them from the original server. And it will delete them so you don't keep building up and hit that 500 megabyte quota. Okay. Got it? Also, if you have any problems setting it up, just contact support and they can help walk you through it. Okay. Any questions on individual emails? All right, so the next thing I want to show you is a great post by Barbie. She did this last week, and give me just a second to find it because I want to make sure that I get the right post. So hang on. She did everything in this post exactly correctly, and I want to make sure that I get it for you. So I'm not quite sharing my screen right now while I'm kind of looking for it. Let's see, I need to go here. And let me go to my save reports. And let me see if I can find this. This was a very, very, very good post. All right, there it is. So I'm going to copy this, and this is going to go into your resources as well. So let me go back here, and I'm going to go copy this here. And I've copied the link to the permalink to this one into your chat. And I'm going to go ahead and share screen so you can see this because Barbie did a great job of explaining this. And I want to go through this so that you understand. So she starts off, hi guys and gals. If you're having any MailingBoss issues, let me give you some tips. And she says, first thing is she loves MailingBoss. And she loves MailingBoss because she's figured out how it works. A lot of people don't like MailingBoss, but it's because they haven't figured it out. So she explains that she figured out that if she sent a message from MailingBoss to Gmail, the first time she did it, it was sent to spam. And then she said she went through and actually looked at her words and compared those words to a spam list and realized that there's a lot of words in there that probably were the cause of it going into spam. So she reworded everything. And as she reworded, then it sent it into promotions instead of spam, which is one step better. And then she went in again and did a little bit more. And once she changed it a little bit more, it eventually went into the inbox. So it does take work, and you need to test, and retest, and really look at the words that you have in your emails. And I love what she says here. Polish your emails and send test emails to yourself first. You remember I said about 1 million times the other day, test, retest, and test again. That's valid even with emails to be able to get it into spam. You want to make sure you're testing your own emails and seeing where they're landing. And if they're landing in spam, don't blame MailingBoss first. Jump in there and look at your message and see what you've got in there. And I also love that she says, eliminate any and all possibilities that it's MailingBoss. So you have to get in there and clean up your emails, reword them, get those trigger words out that are going to send it to spam. And I'm going to give you a couple of documents and the resources that help you so that you can get rid of those spammy words, get them out, and then you can get them into the inbox. Now, does that mean that you're never going to be able to use a spam word? No. When you get a good reputation for your email, and reputation is high enough, then you can actually start using some spam words and it won't go straight into the spam box. But if it's a brand new email with a brand new domain, you've got some work to do. That's all there is to it. You've got some work to do to build up a reputation so that your email will go into the inbox. And let me forewarn you, this is going to get harder and harder to get into the inbox. It's not going to get easier. people are just starting to clamp down on email. And one reason is there's people out there that are scraping emails like crazy and then spamming them like crazy. So because of that, email systems are starting to really clamp down and trying to really filter out those emails. So your first job when you have a new domain with a new email is to work on that reputation and make sure you're getting opens and link clicks. That will build your reputation so that you'll get into the inbox. Okay? Any other questions about that? Yes? No? Maybe? All right, so the next thing I want to show you is I want to show you how you can start tagging people so that they can get special emails inside of your Mailing Boss list. So we're going to go through and actually set up a tag, and I want to show you how tags kind of work. This is a tag light training, right? So we're going to learn kind of a little bit about tags, but it's the very, very basic stuff about tags. There's a lot more you can do with tags. Trust me on this, a lot more you can do with tags. But we're just going to do a basic run through on what are tags and how can you use them. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. John, did you have a question?
I do. Before you go on, I don't want you to,
okay.
to interrupt you again. But
okay.
For example, in Gmail, when something goes into spam and you clear it out of spam, there's a button that says this is not spam. But now, when you go to RainLoop, how do you do that? Because there's no button there in RainLoop that says this is not spam.
I don't know. I'd have to check that. Let me share my screen and let's check that really quick because I haven't really done a whole lot in RainLoop to de-spam things. I don't think I've ever even gotten anything into spam in RainLoop. I don't think it really.
In RainLoop, it actually comes up in the good folder, but it says that it's spam.
Yeah, I think I've seen that, but I don't think it's ever sent anything actually to the spam folder. I think you can, let's see, mark as read, delete permanently, forward, mark as spam. All right, so I think you have to manually send something to spam, and I don't think it will actually send to spam itself. So I think that's what it's doing for you possibly, John, is it's saying, hey, this could be spam, and then you can mark it and send it to spam, and then potentially my guess is that anything that comes in from that email address again will go straight into spam.
So there's no no way to really clear it.
Well, you can delete that, but I don't think it'll automatically clear.
I mean, one of my first emails that went out went to my spam in RainLoop, and I couldn't clear it.
Oh, you couldn't get it out of spam? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, like I said, the Gmail account, it says this is not spam. You push the button and it goes into your main folders, you know?
Let me see. Okay, this is my spam folder. So I'm going, oh, there it is right there. You just click not spam. That little check mark.
Oh, that was in your spam.
Yep. So I went into my spam folder.
Beautiful.
Does that work?
Beautiful.
Okay. Yay, that was easy enough. Yay. So let's go ahead and, anybody else got any questions before we jump into the tags? No? All right, let's go ahead and do tags real quickly. So I'm going to share my screen, and let's see if we can go into here. I think I'm in my other account. I'm sure I am. So let's go here and log out. We need to go back into Christy Lynn. Come on, Shelly, log out. Keep thinking about it. So let's go Christy Lynn. Oops. Okay. There we go. And sign in. And we're going to go into Mailing Boss and set up a tag. So I'm going to hit Mailing Boss. And then I'm going to go to Mailing Boss right here. And I'm going to do this in workflow. That's actually one of the easiest ways to do it. So I'll go into workflow. And I can go into my workflow list. And there's my email training bootcamp right there. And right here, I've got my subscriber list. And what I want to do is tag these people when they come in and I want to tag them like, I don't know, number 1. So I'm going to click the green arrow and I'm going to click insert tag value. And I can either select a tag if I've got tags that exist already, or I can create a new tag. So I'm going to say tag 1 and then OK. So now I've actually created a tag, and I can actually move that down here so I can see it separately. So now what happens is everybody that joins this email list, they're actually going to get tagged as tag 1. So then no matter where they go in the system, they'll have that tag set up. So if they end up being put on another email list, they're going to still have that tag with them. And that way I can choose to send emails to just the person that has that tag. So let's see if we can go into a test page, and we'll connect to this email list, and we'll see if we get that tag. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, first I'm going to save this, because save is my friend. I forgot about that. And now I'm going to go to Builders and Pixel Perfect and My Sites. And we'll go to that website that we had before that we were working in. And I'm going to go ahead and edit. And we'll open this up. And we'll get into the editor. And for this one, I'm going to right click it. Well, I think this is a contact form. So I'm going to delete that one. I'll go to plus and email marketing form, and we'll choose that one right there. I'm going to right click, go to configure, and we'll choose Mailing Boss. And I'm going to do email bootcamp number 1. And I'm going to right click and go to change URL. We're going to choose the pages that show up. I'm going to go to email confirmation page, just like that. And then for the description confirmed, I'll go to the thank you page. And then for the unconfirmed, I'm going to go to the unsubscribed right there. There we go. And then confirm. So now everything's set up so that I can actually use that form. So I'm going to click save and then save again. And now what should happen is I should be able to go into this form and fill it out with my first name and email. It should show up in my list, and it should also have a tag. So let's go ahead and go to the main page. So remember, we made this published. So all I have to do is click on there to go to the live page. And now I should be able to fill it out. So let's say Tony, which is my awesome husband. I'm going to say Tony1 at awesomehusband, spell it right, then.com. So Tony1 at awesomehusband.com. So I'm going to click, well, you know what? I think it's a double opt-in. So I have to have a valid email. So we're going to go Brandon at builderallteamawesome.com. That's great. So we'll name him Brandon. Perfect. Now I'm going to go get your free stuff today. All right, so there's my email confirmation page. Now I need to go to the actual webmail. So I'm going to go to webmail.builderallteamawesome.com. And this should be Brandon. So there we go. He's already got his confirmation link. So I'm going to go click here to confirm. And that should take me to the thank you page. And now if I go into Mailing Boss, I should see that Brandon's in there as confirmed. And he should have a tag. So let's check that out and see if it happens. So I'm going to go back to the main Mailing Boss dashboard. And there's my email bootcamp. And I'm going to go to subscribers. Brandon right there. He's actually in there and he's confirmed. And now I'm going to click on this little icon right here, the overview, and I'm going to check and see what he's got. And sure enough, he's got that tag that says tag 1. So he's actually a member of this subscriber list, the email bootcamp 1, and he's got tag 1 on there. So he's been tagged. So now if I want to do a special email just to that person, right, just those people that have tag 1, I can actually go into campaigns. And let's say I'm going to do a broadcast email. And on the broadcast email, I'm going to create a new. So I'm going to create a one-time email, right? That's all I'm going to do is a one-time email. And I can actually set it up so that I choose that magical list, that email bootcamp number 1. And now I have the choice while I'm setting all this up to only send it to the people that have tag 1. So if I click that, it sends it over to here. And whatever I do when I set up this broadcast or regular email, it's only going to send to the people that have that tag. So if there's people on that list that do not have that tag, maybe they're older people that came in before I had the tag, or I set up the tag for a special opt-in, and that's the only people that are going to get that tag. Whatever it is, only these tag one people will get this email. Okay, so that's how you can start to sort, sift, and separate your people by using tags. This is the very beginning of the tag training. There's a lot more tag training you can do. There's some neat stuff that you can do with tags. In fact, you can tag people depending on if they land on a certain page, if they stay on a page for a certain amount of time, if they click a certain button, they can get a tag. There's a lot of neat stuff that you can do with tags that identify people for either actions they've taken or places that they've been in your website, which then you can transfer into being able to send them special emails based on the actions that they've done and the things that they've done. Okay, so it's actually really, really cool. Dominic?
Make sure I mute this time. Okay, so I tried setting up my my site that where I have them register to do a double opt-in, and it worked fine. It took me to my confirmation page, but then when I clicked on the link, it did not take me to my website. So I switched it back to single opt-in. Could you set up a registration opt-in real quick? Maybe I can see where I'm going wrong.
Yeah, I actually just did it. So let me back up and I'll show you the way I did it, okay? So when we look at, this is the opt-in form like what you use, correct? It may not look the same, but you just use
No.
the marketing form.
No, I used the actual register and login button.
Oh, so I see. So the register and login, that's actually, if you go plus and then you go to buttons and then you go to login, this is what you used right here.
That's correct. Well, actually, I used all three, but yeah.
That's going to be something a little bit different. What that is it's registering them on the actual website. So it's not actually built to go into MailingBoss. You're actually registering them on your website, and that's so that you can collect that information and use it if they purchase something, you sell them something, you're getting access to a membership area. So all of that is tied specifically to the website, not to MailingBoss. So it's a completely separate thing. If you want them to go into MailingBoss, then you're going to have to either do an email marketing form where it connects directly, or a contact form where you use that subscription URL and it sends it into MailingBoss using that subscription URL. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I was banging my head trying to figure out why it wasn't working. I could get it to work with the opt-in form. Yeah. Okay, great.
Let me show you where that information lands. When you use that login to register, and they do register, you'll go to, I think, the double gears right here, and then go to user management. And whenever they register, they'll be registered right here. So you'll actually see them registered in this area.
Now, can I pull their password from there? Because I already had one person contact me. They couldn't remember their password.
You cannot pull their password, but you can change their password for them, or you can delete them and have them re-register.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You do all that from user management. That's just kind of that's that kind of a kicker when you use that registration form. There is a way, if you do user registration and then you do a checkout, when you do the checkout process, there's a place in there to send the checkout information into MailingBoss. So if they do purchase something from you, you can actually set up a checkout to send the information to MailingBoss. But if they're just registering, there's not a good way to send it to MailingBoss.
And that's fine. The single opt-in's working. They go in. I got a bunch of affiliate links inside the website, so that's fine. And if it bounces, I'll just take them out.
Yeah, I'd have to see how you're setting it up, because even single opt-in, you must have an opt-in form somewhere that they're getting, they're putting information in.
Do you want to look at it?
Yeah, open it up. Let's look at it. Do you mind?
I'm on my mobile.
Sorry. Okay, then I don't think
I'm on my mobile. Maybe I'll send you the link tonight. Maybe we can look at it tomorrow.
Please do, because it sounds like you've got two different areas for them to actually sign up. You've got an opt-in form and then a register form. And you should only really have one. If you're not collecting information to sell them something or a membership area, then you only need one of them.
Well, it is a membership area because I require them to register for the site saying that they're 18 years or older.
Ah, yeah. Okay. Yep. That's why then. Okay. I got it. I got it. All right. Anything else, guys? Nope. All right. So we've talked a little bit about tags. Remember, there's other areas too. There's let me go into the share screen. My brain is going like really, really, really fast. Remember that over in this menu area, there's an automation area. We talked a little bit about that in the very beginning. So you can actually enable things to happen by automation and setting up rules. So you can see there's one right here that says, when the user subscribes in Email Bootcamp 1, they get tag 1. So that rule that I set up in the workflow actually shows up right here. I've got another one that says if the user does not open this campaign, then they're moved to a different list. So if they don't open this campaign for a certain amount of time, then they're moved to Shelly's awesome list, and that's enabled. So you can actually add the same type of rules here. Just click add rule and then figure out which rule you want to set up. And then whenever you choose a rule, it'll tell you what the actions are. So you choose the trigger and then you choose the actions. So these are other ways to sort and sift people so that you can send to only specific people that you want to. And then also under the campaigns, if I go back home and I go into the list overview, I've got quick links right here. And under this area, I can do list segments. So I can actually create segments of my list as well. So under segments, I can choose to create a list of users that have only clicked on one link. I can create a list of users in my subscriber list that have never clicked on a link. I can create a list of users that have never opened a campaign or have opened at least one campaign. So you can see all the different things that I can do to create separate lists. And then when I create a new email, I can choose to send to only that segment. So I can choose to send to a specific tag, or I can send to a specific segment. So again, I'm kind of sorting and sifting through my people so I can choose who to send an exact email to. I can also choose create new. And you have a lot of power in this area because I can actually create conditions to send to. So I'm going to call this condition Shelly's setting. And right here on operator match, I can choose if it matches anything or if it matches all. If it chooses any of them, that means any one of them or multiples of them. If I choose all, that means whatever criteria I set up, it has to match all of them. If it's not matching all of them, it won't trigger. So I'll just go ahead and choose any. And then I have to define the condition. So I have to choose add condition. And right here, I can choose field. So I can choose everybody that has a first name that starts with the letter S. So everybody that has a first name that starts with the letter S will be added to this segment. And then I can send out an email that only sends to people that have a first name that starts with S. Now, obviously, we're not going to send out an email like that because it's kind of silly. But you can imagine if I'm capturing email addresses that maybe end with gmail.com, then I can send to only people that have an email address that ends with gmail.com. If I have a phone number and I only want to send to people that have a phone number that start with 662, which would be people in northern Mississippi, then I can only send emails to people in northern Mississippi because I've chosen that 662 prefix. So if I have a question on my opt-in that do you like the color red, green, or blue? Well, if they choose blue, I can say, I want to send this email message to everybody that chose blue. Okay, so there's a lot of power that you have in that area. It just takes a lot of practice to implement it, right? It's kind of one of those where if you've got a big old Ford Mustang with a V8 engine and you're ready to ride down the road, you still got to know how to drive before you do it. And you got to practice. So that's kind of what you got to do with these. There's a lot of power in there, but you got to make sure that you practice before you implement, because you can really make things go hairy. I had a user just the other day that she had a tag and she could not figure out where that tag was. And we had to just do a little bit of digging because it was tagging her people, but she couldn't figure out where the tag was coming from. So we had to go through and just kind of do all the little troubleshooting to find out where the tag was. We found it, we got rid of it, everything was okay. But that's part of going through the system and understanding the system and where those things might be. So when you start setting up these rules and setting up these tags, you have to understand what you're doing to make sure that everything is really working the way you want it to work. So start off slow and work through it and see how it works before you add it to a live list. Dominic.
Okay, so I reached out to David and he posted that website for me in the chat.
Oh, good, good. So cbd-gummies.com, is that right? my-cbd-gummies.com.
Yep.
Great. Great, great, great. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. All right, so any other questions about email, you guys? That was about all I was going to go into in detail with spam and working on getting your reputation up, showing you how you could get your email in RainLoop, how you could pull out your email and put it into another email client like Outlook or Gmail, and then make sure you saw some of the advanced things you can do like the tagging and segmenting and setting up the automation rules. So any other questions? Aurelie?
Hello, Shelly. Hello, everyone. I had just a hard time following the whole session. So just wondering, I heard you were talking about spamming. Did you give some place to look to improve this? Is it a link? Is it something that you have shared about this?
Yes,
so
I showed how. Yes, I showed how you can look up spam checkers. All you have to do is type in email spam checkers into a Google search, and it will pull up lots and lots of spam checkers. And there's a lot of them that are free that'll let you check, and then some of them are a little bit more involved and they cost a little bit of money.
Okay, so I just tap in Google.
Right, and then also I'm going to put some resources in the replay today that will show you the most common spam words that you want to avoid.
Okay.
It'll also show you information on how to increase your reputation and also how to avoid the spam box for Gmail and a couple of other little good tools that you can use to look at and understand how to stay out of that spam box. But the biggest thing to stay out of the spam box is to just keep working on your emails, and reputation is the #1 thing.
So
right
you
now.
have to write to your email like every day or every second day, in a way, because I think I don't write enough to people. I think I'm keeping like.
You have to be careful, because if you overdo it, it'll be just too much and they won't open anymore. And it's hard to create value every single day. So
no, but of course that's my problem. It's like I don't know what is the right balance. How often I should write to my list so I don't overwhelm people with too much things.
Yes.
And I want to know, like, if I have to contact them 1 or 2 times a week, or it's like more than that.
I would say that maybe the first sequence that goes out, maybe every couple of days, right? Get them every couple of days. But then after you hit those first 5 emails and you hit them a couple of days at a time, then maybe start slowing it down. So it's maybe once or twice a week, and really no more than that unless you have a really special offer that you want to throw them, because they'll get weary, and you want to be able to create value every time that you put an email out, and they don't want to see you necessarily every single day. So once or twice a week is probably a good amount, and as long as you're providing value, they'll open that email.
Okay, that's great. And one last thing doesn't have many relation with this, but do you guys gonna change the time in the hours, because we had just changed the hours in Europe, I mean in Paris.
Oh yeah,
everything changed.
Yeah, we've changed here already. We did about a month ago, I guess. Yeah, we changed way before you guys do.
So now your time will always be the same as this one.
Yeah, everything should be synced now, so you should be good.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for the value of all this teaching. It's fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Very glad to do it. Very, very glad to do it. Does anybody have any more questions about what we covered today? Phoenix, go ahead.
How many tags have you used? Were you able to max it out yet?
Nope. Not even close. And I've got a lot of tags. In fact, there's times where I look at my tags and go, why the crap did I put that tag there? I don't even remember what that was. Yeah, I have a lot of tags.
Okay, so there's like, I thought maybe they were limited to about 3 tags, but
no. Lots of tags.
That's quite nice. And are you guys on Eastern Daylight Time?
The time that is shown on the event calendar is Eastern time, so it's going to be New York City time. I'm actually Central, so I'm an hour behind that. So when we say that,
they're not on EST anymore, which is Eastern Standard Time. So there's another hour difference if they are now on Eastern Daylight Time, which is why it messed Orly and me around by about 2 hours here or there, because this was a bit confusing.
Yeah, we'll always be
I'm the same, and I made it in. It's a standard 5 hours, and when before our clocks go forward, it's just 4 hours. And that happened to you back in no, it's
actually 5 hours.
Yeah,
and
but before we spring,
it was actually 6.
Before we spring forward, Phoenix, it's 4 hours.
No, it wasn't.
Oh man, I'm not even going to go into it. It's very simple. They sprang forward last month.
Maybe we have different time zone, you and I think so, because now in Paris it's almost 8 p.m. almost 20 minutes.
And here it's almost 1, so we are 7 hours apart.
Okay. 7 hours. Okay, I just wanted to understand.
Yep.
So I don't miss the next meeting.
Yeah, y'all, to me, the time is like the most difficult part. Even when I go to the world clock, I'm still not real sure. So I will always I will always try to be on New York time, whatever New York time is, and that's Eastern time. And for me, that makes me an hour different.
But as Phoenix said, the time you as Phoenix said, the time you share is always from New York time, no matter where you are at this moment. It's always
2 p.m. here on the East Coast.
Oh, good.
All right, man.
Great.
Yeah, but New York is on Eastern Daylight Time, which is 1 hour different from Eastern Standard Time. Don't get confused.
It lists New York as EST, which I've always called Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, we don't have that second one that you do. I don't know what that's all.
Yeah, we're gonna stop that in Europe. They decided that every European country we choose either winter or summertime, and it will stop in 2020. Until this time, we still have to change. It's gonna stop.
You're getting
2021.
21.
You're getting me all screwed up.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm just kind of going, y'all. All I can tell you is it's almost 1 o'clock here.
No, but I'm tired with this changing time all the time. You never know what's gonna happen and when.
I can do trigonometry,
so just try to catch up.
Statistics, but don't ask me about the time zones.
Sorry to ask.
Shelly's frozen.
That's New York time, whatever that is. And can you hear me? Whew, there we go. Yeah, everything I do is going to be New York time, whatever that is. And just back up everything from New York time, because that's what Orlando time is. And so in Orlando is our home office. So I'll always go New York time, and then you can back up from there. Okay?
Okay, great. Because somebody's from Australia and said that it's 1 in the morning.
Tuesday night calls don't start till like 9.
Yeah, we had just one of them that I had to delay by an hour. I can't remember why that night, but we delayed it by an hour. But that was only one time. Every other time they always start at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, which is New York time.
Okay, y'all. Well, I've got to go because I've got to get ready for my radio show.
Awesome. Well, I don't think I have anything else more for you guys today. So be checking in the replay area. There's going to be a lot of resources in there for you to avoid the spam box. And tomorrow we'll finish up. We'll tie up any loose ends that we have on email. How are you guys feeling about Mailing Boss now? Are you feeling better about it?
Awesome.
Yeah.
I have a simple idea for us in Europe. Get another clock.
Okay. And Shelly, just one more thing, if I can add something. Today, I realized on the chat with many people are having a hard time to receive the second, like when you're doing a double opt-in list, they are receiving the email, they're not receiving the email in the inbox. I have 2 or 3 cases like this.
Yes.
So we have a problem with the email marketing form in itself. It isn't working properly with every email. So now we are checking millions of different emails. And I know that something is wrong with this email marketing form. They are trying to look out for what is it about. But so everyone knows that it's not only the wrong way of doing it. It's just like on the side of Builderall, they have to find out what's going on with this email marketing form, which is not working at the moment.
And it does work, but I think there's some email providers, and I can't remember what email provider it was. There was one specific email provider that confirmation email, when they have to click to confirm, just never gets in there. And
but many ones now.
Yeah, really. So you want to test, and retest. The other thing, guys, is to make sure that if you've got a double opt-in, that you send them to an email confirmation page that has instructions on how to confirm. So you can tell them, step 1, check your email. Step 2, click confirm. Step 3, welcome to the group. And oh, by the way, if you don't see this email, check your spam folder or your promotions folder to make sure you find it. It will say from so-and-so, right? Yeah. You want to put that in there so they know to check their spam folder, or like in the case of Gmail, their promotions folder, to see if they can find it. And then you tell them, and don't forget to whitelist it. And I'll have a link. I did forget to tell you guys that. I'll have a link to one of my whitelist pages so that you can see an example of a whitelist page. And Perfect. You're more than welcome to copy any of that whitelist page that you want, so that you can make a whitelist page just like that, okay? So there's gonna be a lot of resources in the replay for today, including how to avoid spam by not using certain words, how to help your email get into the inbox instead of spam, how to increase your reputation. I'll give you the SMTP information so you can SMTP it into another provider if you want to. And then I'll give you the whitelist information so you can see how to create a whitelist page. And you can add it to your email confirmation page. But the email confirmation page is going to be on you to train your users. Remember in the other training, when we talked about conditioning our people, right? We talked about conditioning the goldfish, and we need to learn how to condition our people with our email as well. So we need to help them and condition them by training them what we want them to do. And what you want them to do when you fill out that opt-in form is check their email, click confirm, and welcome to the email list. And oh, you didn't get it in your email? Well, check your promotions folder, your spam folder. Make sure to whitelist it, and make sure you look for the email that says from Christy Lynn at builderallteamawesome.com or whatever. Okay, so you want to make sure you're giving them every bit of instructions that you can give them, so it's very clear what they need to do. Okay.
Because one thing I will say, if you get that right, your customers, clients, whatever we want to call them, will do exactly the same. They're going to copy you. That's the biggest thing. An awful lot of people don't understand that. They will do as you do. If they see you are successful, they're going to copy you every step of the way. And if you're able to help them, like Shelly is helping us, copy her, that's going to be brilliant for the business.
That's it. Yep. I think Roberto, did you have a question?
I do. Thank you. It is about a webinar that I'm working on, but I'm going to be needing to use the Mailing Boss as well. Now, I got all the setup for the webinar done, but I have a quick question. When the webinar is set up to be, let's say, 8 p.m. tonight, and people start getting registered for the webinar, the timer works at that time. It's gonna be, clicking until the time comes. But what happens when it is on demand? The timer is needed at that time. That is my first question. My second question is, when I do an email campaign for the webinar, I'm going to be sending an email to invite people to get registered for the webinar, but the follow-up or the autoresponder, I believe it should say, after that, after they come to the email, what's gonna happen? Should I do like a 5 or 7 email after the webinar? And the third question is, there is a setup of email with them, the actual webinar, when it is, they send them like a reminder. The reminder, I believe it is, should they take, I am a little bit confused between those in the reminder and the one that I need actually to be sending to them. That's the question.
Yeah. Well, let me address the last question because that's front on my brain right now. Those emails that are in the webinar, they're strictly related to the webinar. So they're going to be going out to do reminders that the webinar is coming up, and you set them to go out 1 day before, 1 hour before, 15 minutes before. And then you can set it up so if you're going to do a replay, it'll send out afterwards instead of a link to the replay. So all of those emails are out there. So it's not really coming from Mailing Boss, but it's connected to your subscriber list so that it can send out all these emails. Okay. So it's just having to do with that webinar and nothing outside of the webinar. So the email list itself inside Mailing Boss is almost like a separate entity. All the webinar is doing is connecting to it to get the people to send those emails that have to go out for the webinar for reminders. Okay.
So that is just a reminder.
It's just reminders and replays. That's all.
And when I go in and select the email list, it keeps showing me, it seems to be no switching the email, the listing. It keeps, I select the new email listing, but it keeps showing the prior email that I had before or the listing that I had before. Should I change that manually? Is that a problem? Because this is the issue. When I do it on demand, it gives me an error message saying that this listing is not working out for that.
Yeah, because on demand is they can just go and watch the webinar, so it's not going to send out reminder emails.
Okay.
Right.
And
so it's not going to work
for that either.
Right. So you don't need a timer for that, and you don't need the emails for that, because on demand means I demand it right now, which means there's no emails that are going to go out to say, oh, don't forget your webinar's in 1 hour, because they don't need those emails. They're demanding it at the moment that they look at it. Does that make sense? So no emails need to go out for on demand.
Because they go ahead, I got it. Let me send you this.
Okay.
All right, that is my opt-in page right there.
Okay.
So when they sign in, they are taken to the confirmation, and I say, listen, you gotta confirm your email. If it is not in the inbox, you gotta check your spam folder or junk folder. And thank you. So they go to the email, they confirm, and it is taken to this other page. Let me tell you. So this is when they confirm, or they got the email confirmed, the second one.
Okie dokie.
Let me see. Yes, when they are confirmed. So if the person is gonna be doing it on demand, they're gonna be seeing the timer anyway.
You can take the timer off, or you can hide it, put it under a button so it still forwards to the page.
Or should I do like should I do two different pages? One for when it is actually scheduled, yeah, and another one when it is on demand.
Yeah, you can do that too. Mm-hmm.
That's the way to work it out.
Yep. So there's lots of different ways to attack that one.
All right, that answered my question. Thank you.
You're welcome. Did I get all the questions answered?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yay. Any other questions, guys? We'll have some training on that webinar soon. Eric is testing the webinar again for multi-speaker platform. So hopefully we're getting closer and closer so we can get the video shot to be able to teach you guys how to do all of the different ways that you can do that webinar platform, because it is absolutely fabulous. It's a really neat tool. All right, if there are no more questions, then I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. You guys did great. You had some great questions. Hopefully you're getting a better handle on Mailing Boss and how to manage Mailing Boss. I know you got a lot of stuff in the last 6 days. So the 7th day tomorrow, we're going to relax a little bit, and we're going to talk just a little bit more about Mailing Boss to tie up the loose ends. And then we'll talk about some of the other things that are in Builderall. So you can see some of the other tools that you can use besides just Mailing Boss. So I guess I will see you guys tomorrow. Be watching. The replay will be up in just a couple of hours. Okay. Bye, guys. Have a great day. You did fantastic.
Thanks, Shelley. Thanks a million. You're very good.
Okay.
Thanks, Shelley. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Au revoir. Au revoir.